a lot of Mets fans are just worried, right? They're worried, and I wouldn't say panicking, although some Mets fans love to panic. That's kind of their thing. That's kind of this fan base's thing, right? And I understand that 100% because on paper, that doesn't look pretty, right? It doesn't look pretty at all. Kodai Senga is coming off of an injury-riddled season. I think he's going to get back to form if he stays healthy. But again, at this point, that's a kind of a big if. David Peterson, is he going to be able to replicate the success that he had, which was awesome last season when he came back from, I believe, hip surgery? Frankie Montas, are the Mets going to be successful in this sort of reclamation project 2.0/3.0 for them? And then Paul Blackburn, a guy that's like 30 plus years old and had his season virtually ended by back issues. That's not something you really want to rely on. So there's a lot of what ifs. Obviously, Jose Buto's in the bullpen as of right now, but you could always slot him in as a starter. I don't even want to get into the discussion of Tyler McGill because I think that 2025, if the Mets get to where they want to go, Tyler McGill is not going to be part of the equation. At least I hope he's not. So of these two guys, is there a more realistic option for you? Because I know you mentioned Quintana could be realistic given that you can bring him back on a 1-year deal rather than Manaya, maybe a 3 or 4 year deal for him. But again, you take a look at what Severino just got, what Kikuchi got, we can only wonder and speculate what Sean Manaya is going to get. I mean, that was a fantastic all-around season with a tweak in his mechanics, emulating Chris Sale that he just put up. And at this point, I don't want to say that the Mets are going to be priced out of Sean Manaea as well, because at the end of the day, you have to draw the line somewhere and you have to put together a competent rotation, especially with what, the Dodgers are doing over there in LA, signing Blake Snell, getting Glasnow back, getting Shohei Ohtani back. I mean, they just got arms galore. But listen, I got no idea exactly. I know I do have an idea. I don't want Jose Quintana back. I'll say that up front. But do you see a world where either, both, and I know you just kind of mentioned it, but like sort of rehash it, the money value in comparison to this Sevy deal that we just saw today?
Identify one of these things and go get me a picture, right? Go get me a picture, whether it be one of these three or that project. Well, he gave us the project in Frankie Montas. Okay, whatever. Now, like I said before, go get me Sean Manaea. Go get me Sean Manaea for production, for what it means, for all of that stuff. Listen, I've been wanting Sean Manaea back, but don't give me an entire offseason of this nonsense, please. Do not give me an entire offseason of projects and, short-term deals and half-ass commitments. Like, no, man. No, I need a short thing. The same way we want a short thing with Juan Soto, why can't we have one as far as the pitching? And I'm not even out here screaming for Corbin Burns because I know to me, it's kind of like out of the question. I don't even think there's a chance of that happening. Maybe if we miss out on everything and they feel like we have to make a splash. And at that point, I don't want to make moves just to make a splash. It's nice, but that's not really what I want. I want to make moves that are going to eventually lead to winning.
And beating the Dodgers, too, which is the end goal at the end of the day, because that's what everybody, especially in the National League, but in the league in general, is chasing after, right? How do we compete with the Dodgers and what they're doing, and how do we put a roster that's capable of doing that over the course of 162, but also come playoff time, because they caught fire at the right time, and they just cruised their way essentially after that Padres series into the World Series. The Mets gave them a run for their money, but I mean, listen, when you have a roster of that caliber, you're going to need to get crafty if you're David Stearns. And again, like, we are all for some of these projects, right? But you need solidified arms at the end of the day, especially at the top end of your rotation. Kodai Senga is, I don't want to say a completely solidified arm, right? He's definitely going to be serviceable, but it's just like the injury concern that's there for me. And so you got to put somebody up there that is reputable and I think durable right alongside him in case, worst case situation arises. And there's a lot of different names that we can talk about, not only in the free agent round. I know that we're only talking about free agents right now, but there's other avenues of getting pitchers, right? In terms of the trade market, a lot of people want to talk about Garrett Crochet. A lot of people want to talk about Luis Castillo. I'm sure that there's going to be other pitchers, maybe from like the Marlins, depending on what their situation is, that they're going to be willing to deal, in this offseason. Those reports haven't really come out just yet. But again, it's going to take heavy prospect capital. So no matter what, you're going to either be paying heavy money, right, in terms of the contract values, or you're going to give up 1, 2, 3, however many top 10 prospects these other teams want because they know that pitching is a premium right now across the league. And they have that luxury of just holding still and demanding, whether it's the Red Sox or the Mets, just trading their top guys and pretty much entering a bidding war in terms of prospects going back in a potential trade. So I know that I'm not talking about trades right now. We'll save that for the future stream. But again, there's a lot of different avenues. Even still,
I'm behind David Stearns and Steve Cohen and whatever they do. I trust them. They've earned that. Even if I don't agree with everything they do. Doesn't mean I agree with everything they do, because people mistake that. Oh, like, oh, you're just a shill or whatever. No. I don't agree with everything, but I think they've earned, especially from last season now, with this combo of Steve Cohen and David Stearns, they've earned the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you for watching the True Mets Talk podcast. Make sure you're tapping on that notifications button and checking out all the latest content on the channel. Thank you.